My name is Yoconda Arguello Klein, and I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the Culinary Union Local 226, the Culinary Union Local 226, and the Bartenders 165. We've been very concerned before the reopening. We are very, very concerned before the reopening about the health and safety of the workers and their families. We sent the health safety guideline to the Gaming Control Board to implement these requirements and implementing a mandatory way. We let them know the Clark County Commission. They're very aware what we're asking for. And we have been letting know the governor about this situation when the workers gonna go back to work. We want to be very safe. And that's why the Culinary Union, we send this health safety guideline to protect all the workers and the families. Now, we've been, very vocal, I think, in every single news saying, doing a lot of interview for the leaders of the state, listen to us and listen to the community. But today, the Culinary Union has, we're gonna put a lawsuit against the Las Vegas strip companies to protect these workers and protect their families. From March 1st, 2020, very sad, for all us, because we feel like the culinary workers and all the people here in Las Vegas, all the hospitality industry, right now, we feel like they are in a very tough situation. And we lost the culinary workers right now. We lost 19 members and their families. This is very, very sad situation. Because I remember when the governor spoke the last time and he said we lost 12, it was on one of the national news and say we lost 12 our brothers and sisters of the Culinary Union. Well, right now we had 19. It's been increasing the numbers, and that's why we've been taking these steps. We've been fighting from day one before the reopening to trying to the leaders of the state, taking care of the entire state to all the hospitality industry. But now the Culinary Union, we're doing this lawsuit to the Las Vegas Strip Company. And we're suing them because they've been having hazardous working conditions for these workers. And we feel like they are not protecting right now. This lawsuit, we have allegations against companies because we know they've been doing things where they're not protecting the workers to spread the COVID and not protecting their families. It's been very difficult because the allegations we have allegations to different companies, and the allegations we have allegation against the Signature, that's the MGM Grand. We have allegations with Sadelle's Cafe at the Bellagio, and we have allegation for the Guy Fieri at the Harrah, that's the Caesar Entertainment. Situation has been very difficult for these workers, very, very difficult. The Culinary Union right now, we're making an effort, to fight this, to protect these workers and their family, but we will continue to getting statements and evidence for another properties, if the situation isn't that way. Now, since the reopening, we have allegations against the MGM Grand, and allegations against Sadelle, and allegations against the Guy Fieri restaurants. They've been adopting unreasonable rules and process in there. They've been adopting these rules and they don't been take care to spread the COVID-19. And that's what the workers, they've been letting us. They've no shoot down. the areas, and they don't shoot down the areas where the workers was, and where they found out they have a COVID-19 positive person working in the area. That had to be immediately. If you have somebody where it's been positive, why are we going to risking the rest of the workers to get infected, and only the workers, their families too. They've been failing to conduct an adequate contact tracing. When one person have COVID right away, we need to inform the people that was around that person and identify the person, because that is not only the worker, it's the workers and their families where we feeling they being completely failed. They've been failing to inform the employees if one of the co-workers capacity, what is, what they saying this person is capacity among the co-workers and theirs, and explaining to everybody this person is being positive. They've been failing to give it the information about the COVID-19. They've been giving false information about the COVID-19 and about the symptoms. That's why, we feel right now we're doing everything. We're putting all our effort to protect these workers and protect their families. They only been thinking and continue have the workers working and making the revenues. And this is something where we know all these allegations we have. That's why we decide to go court. These unreasonable rules we have, and the signature at the MGM Grand, at the Sadelle's, cafe at the Bellagio, and the Guy Fieri restaurants, we feel right now they really been putting the workers at risk, and not only the workers, their families too. We know they've been failing in all this, and that's why we're doing this lawsuit, because we believe failing their health and safety for the workers, they putting in risk, not only them, they putting in risk the workers, the families, and the community. And the people they live with them and share the resident, because some people, they have roommates. Some people, they share resident with another people. So this is completely unacceptable, and we're fighting this, and we will continue fighting this, because we know they completely violate the bargaining. We have a contract with them, and that they're supposed to be to protect the worker for any hazardous situation. And right now we have a lawsuit, and this lawsuit violates the collective bargaining agreement, what we're doing. Now, we know we have situation at the Sadelle Cafe where people, they was working after having somebody positive and not have any social distance. And when they open in June 4, customers, they know was wearing masks, and when they was working very, very close with all the people they working in there, food servers, hostess, and exposed them. And then we have somebody positive and no social distance, keeping working right there in the area for and don't let it know the workers in there that happen, and don't close the place immediately. When they have a case like that, the COVID-19, they had to close the place, shut down the place, and clean it right away to protect the workers in there, and workers and their families too. That's why we're doing this lawsuit. And we're not gonna stop fighting this situation, because right now, Culinary Workers Union, we are the largest immigrant organization here in Nevada. 43% of the COVID-19 is being in the Latino community. We know the Latino community and the African-American community, they've been hit by this. We continues fighting. We feel for these workers every single day, because they had to go work, and they is an extremely high stress to make a decision in the morning, because the company's been designed to follow the rules and procedures where they are completely in hazardous, putting hazardous condition to this working condition. And that's why we filed this lawsuit. We have these allegations, and we're gonna continue fighting this. Now we're going to court to fight in these cases. And this is not going to be the ending. We're gonna continue to getting statements and evidence for situations like this happening in the rest of the casinos. Thank you.
Thank you, Gio. And so next we have Sixto. Sixto Zermeno, a bellman at the Signature at the MGM Grand, and he's worked there for 10 years.
Hello, my name is Sixto Zermeno. I'm a bellman at the MGM Signature. At the Signature at the MGM Grand. I've been working there for 10 years. When I was called back to work, I was called to show up one day before my training day. So I had to go to work the next day. I was never asked to take a test to go to work. Unfortunately, I thought that was gonna happen. We were supposed to take a test. I worked 3 shifts, completely short-staffed, no social distancing between guests. The guests weren't wearing any mask. We were so short-staffed that the amount of work was, it was intense, and the social distancing was just not possible. After my 3rd shift on June 10th, I woke up. It was a graveyard shift that I worked. Prior to that, I woke up with a mild headache. Felt, so I'd rather take a nap to see how I processed after that, see how I felt. I woke up with a really bad fever, body aches, the worst headache I ever had. It was just extreme. So I knew then something was wrong. Took it upon myself to go to get tested, got tested. The next day on the 11th, I got my positive test. And I didn't know what to do at that point because the company never really explained what to do if somebody tested positive. So I tried calling my upper manager, my main manager for my department, and there was no answer. So I tried calling a different manager from a different department, and I was able to get a hold of the manager from a different department, and they gave me, transferred me to a general manager, which I spoke with her. She also did not know what or who to call, what's the steps to do after that. So she gave me the number for a virtual roster, which is a 3rd-party company that does the scheduling for the MGM. Called them, they asked me why I called them because, that's not their department. So they put me on hold. They gave me a number for corporate, and that's when I called corporate. And there was no answer at first, and then they gave me a call back. And then that's when I was able to process and give them the information that I was positive. And I told them who I came in contact with, coworkers wise. They didn't ask me any questions other than they wanted the positive results for COVID-19. So I gave them the positive test. After that, I haven't heard anything from the company. It's been, I believe, 18 days that I haven't heard from corporate. Far as I'm aware of, that they didn't, all the coworkers that I worked with continued to work. They weren't sent to get tested after they knew that I was positive. So it's been 3 months. It was 3 months that we did social distancing, that we did lockdown in Las Vegas. All those 3 months, I made sure I cleaned myself, washed my hands, hand sanitized, and I'll go back to work 3 days later. I'm sick on the 4th day. There was the proper procedures. There's not enough time to clean, so short-staffed that we were. I live with my parents and my brother, and it's been extremely difficult for me to, I've been pretty much locked in my room, and it's hard because, my parents have both diabetic. They're both elderly. I haven't seen my 9-year-old daughter. It's going to be a month already. And it hurts me because I haven't seen her in such a long time. And I miss her. And I'm still testing positive. And I tested positive since the 11th. So I haven't seen her for that long. Sorry. I'm just fighting to make sure that the companies follow the proper steps. Make sure that, we're not just numbers, we're families also. We're human, and I just want them to care, honestly. And then they're putting, they're putting their workers and they're putting families at risk. And it's been a difficult time. Thank you.
Thank you, Sixto. Next, we have Eric Weininger, who is a cook at Guy Fieri, and he's been there for 6 years.
Good morning. My name is Eric Weininger. I'm a cook at Guy Fieri's Vegas Kitchen and Bar. Been there for 6 years. I came in contact with a coworker who was tested positive for the COVID-19, and things were not handled properly, or at least not to my expectations as I thought that the testings would be. Once we found out that we were in contact with a person, we told the managers about it. The managers then did like a little manager huddle out in the lobby of our kitchen, and then took it to the chef's office. My chef then told me if I received a call to let me know what's going on, to wait by the phone. Well, I didn't receive that call, and he told me to come in the next morning if I didn't receive that call. This morning, and I said yes to the COVID-19 questions without being the question. Me and 4 others said yes to the question, and the security officer at the time said, "Oh, you guys are from Guy Fieri's. I'm gonna need you to stand over here, 6 feet apart." Then he took us outside to wait longer because their managers were still in a meeting. It was then that the head of security, the assistant of security, and I do believe he was the head of HR, approached us. The assistant of security then said, so I see you guys said yes to the question of contact. Were you guys 6 feet apart for more than 10 minutes with your mask on with said person? We said yes. He goes, well, from the looks of you guys look well enough to work. So if you guys want to go back to work, you can. If not, if you're still ready, if you still feel concerned, then the HR rep will take your names and contact you guys later on today. So we all went home. About an hour later, I get a call from my chef asking if I wanted a position for nighttime for the next couple of days because they weren't going to open for daytime. He asked me if I would be comfortable with that. I said no, because I haven't had my test yet. The way they handled everything, as soon as they found out about the person testing positive, it seemed like a nonchalant act, like everybody was blasé about it. So I'm sharing my story today because I have a son who with autism and asthma, and I live with my grandmother-in-law who I take care of. I am concerned of bringing it home to my family, and I love my job. I don't want anything to happen to me, my coworkers, my bosses. I just want procedures to be done, protocols. The way Caesars handled it is truly disgusting, and I believe they can do better.
Thank you, Eric. Next, we have Jonathan Munoz. Jonathan is a food server at Guy Fieri's at Harrah's, which is a Caesars Entertainment Corporation property, at the Link for 6 years. You have to unmute yourself. Let's see.
I'm ready. Hello, my name is Jonathan Munoz. I work over at Guy Fieri's at the Harrah's at the Link. I've been there for about 6 years. When we got called back to work, we were not required to get tested. After a week opening, one of my coworkers tested positive. I took it upon myself to go get tested. No one told me to be tested. I'm still waiting for their results. It's been almost a week. I'm very concerned about having worked with a coworker tested positive. My wife works at the same restaurant as me. She has a very compromised immune system. We have little ones at home. We have 5 to be exact. I have children between the ages of 3 to 15. I'm very concerned about their well-being. My family and I did everything to follow social distancing. We followed the strict protocol for 3 months. And now I come to work where the company breaks protocol within a week. It's very disheartening. I feel the company doesn't care about my lives or my kids. I want to ask Caesars, are you going to take care of my kids if something happens to me, if I get sick? I am fighting for my coworkers, my family, for us to be healthy. I want the companies to treat us like humans and not like machines that only make money for them. I'm fighting for respect for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. So Gio, I don't know if you have any closing remarks.
Yes, right now, the Culinary Local 226, we have this lawsuit against the Signature MGM Grand, against the Sadelle's Cafe, what is the Bellagio, is the MGM Resorts, and Guy Fieri's, what is the Harrah's, and it's Caesar Entertainment. The Culinary Union, we're gonna go and fight every single thing. And today we have these 3 casinos and hotels we have in this lawsuit, but are we collecting statements, and we're gonna collect evidence for anything go wrong, like what they doing right now, or with these allegations we have. We're gonna go court. They violate our bargaining collecting agreement to put these workers in this hazardous situation, working condition, and not only the workers, they put in their families, and they put in the community. And we're going to continue fighting this, because this is a COVID-19, the health situation affecting your health is a long-term illness, really, with a felt in your health, and can be, people can pass away. Right now, we feel like we're going to do whatever we need to do to protect these workers, these families, and this community.
Thank you. And next we have Irma Fernandez, who is not part of the current lawsuit. So Irma, if you want to unmute yourself, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Irma Fernandez, and I am the daughter of Adolfo Fernandez, who was an employee at Caesar's Palace in the housekeeping department and the utility, as a utility porter. My father was an amazing, hardworking man. He was strong and healthy. Even if he had high blood pressure, that didn't stop him from showing up to work and trying his best every single day. He was such a happy, big-hearted person, human being, a great human being. Before he went to work, he did get a test, and it showed negative. My father will constantly tell me every day, I know I'm gonna get sick at work. I just know it. The company is not keeping us safe. It does not have the correct safety protocols for each employee. He would constantly tell me how stressed out he was, and I can just see it in his face. He would call me on his break time and tell me about what was going on and how he was feeling. He would say that he didn't want to go back to work, but he had no choice. He needed to financially support his family. When he came home from work, he would go straight to his bedroom and go to sleep. At that point, I knew something was wrong with my dad because he wasn't that type of person. I don't know why Caesars were trained their managers and supervisors to be so careless and heartless. When will they realize that their workers are at risk every day? We have families just like managers have families as well. But now my family and I are mourning my dad's death. He asked for help. He could barely push his cart the last day he went to work. He had body aches and he advised his manager about it. And their response was, okay, go home and take a point or ask for FMLA. But he didn't because he's a hardworking man. So he turned around and went back to work. He finished his shift, but when he came home, he went straight to bed. And in the middle of the night, we all saw that he had a fever. My dad always fought for justice for him, his coworkers, to be respected and taken care of. But now his life was taken away. And now he's in heaven. During the last 3 days of his life, all he could think about was his job. That he needs to fight for justice for everyone, not just for himself. Because he always put everyone in front of him. And that's why I'm here. Because I want to be the voice of my dad, not only in memory of my father, but for everyone who's at risk, who has families, who needs to take care of their parents or their children. I want to fight for justice for a better safety precaution plan for every single worker in the casino industry, not just in Caesars Palace. And that's what I'm fighting for now. Thank you.